guys, this is Tina from Shabbydabbydoodah. Welcome back to my channel. So we're here for another one of our mass making sessions. We are up to week number 207. So for those people who don't watch my channel, we are doing reruns. So we are rerunning. We did the first 100 weeks. We then did another 100 weeks of the reruns. We did a 10-week kind of separate little additional pockets and bits and bobs. And now we're doing another rerun of the first 100 weeks. So we're up to 207. And I'm just looking at my iPad. We are making side loading pocket. Sorry, even looking at my iPad, I've still got it wrong. Right, side loading fold out pocket. Oh, that was a mouthful to say. Side loading fold out pocket. Right, that's what we're making today. So if you want to make along, what you're going to need, I've brought along a variety of paper. Now, my papers are printables predominantly because that's what I've got nowadays. And I do say this every week, you know, you don't have to use printables, use whatever that you have. You can use book page, you could use sheet music, you know, anything that you like. You could use scrapbook paper. The only thing that I would probably say is you maybe don't want to use anything too thin. But if you do, I would probably double it up. Now that's just because I'm pretty, you know, clumsy and rubbish and I'm likely to tear the paper. Again, it would depend, you know, how you operate. If you are not as clumsy as me, then maybe you won't. But you will see kind of why I'm saying all of this. Now, if you are using thicker paper, you're going to probably want it to be double-sided. So I've got a few double-sided printed papers here. These are on 230 GSM, so they're pretty thick. Then my papers that I have got that are, you know, thinner. So these are 120 GSM. Pulled in a load of other stuff. What I have done is I've just kind of got them here and I've backed them like back to back there with some other paper. So that when I come to actually make these, I'm going to back them onto some other paper to make them thicker. Again, that's up to you. If you feel confident with them being thinner, then, you know, you can kind of bypass the whole, you know, double-siding the papers. So that's the papers that we're going to need. You're going to need some scissors or a paper trimmer, depending on how, you know, how you like to work. If you like to work with a paper trimmer and a, you know, scoreboard and all of that stuff, then obviously you know how to use that better than I do. So adapt them obviously for your, you know, your measuring and your cutting process. You're going to need some glue. For paper, I generally always use the Anita's tacky glue. Now these definitely you could make these stitched and they are wonderful stitched. I try and make everything where I can glued in the mass making because I want it to be as accessible as possible for everybody. I will show you, but I will talk about, you know, the differences if you were stitching when we come to make them, and I will just kind of highlight where you would stitch when we're making them. Aside from that, you're going to need a glue spreader of sorts. I just always use kind of an old card, you know, to spread my glue out. You may need a bone folder or your scissor handles to like press your creases down. And I think that's pretty much it. Obviously, once you've made them, if you want to do things like distress ink them, I've got my walnut stain here and my distress tool, things like that. You maybe would want to round your corners, you know, just for different looks. So just, you know, play around and adapt them as you please. I will just decorate one at the end, but aside from that, they will be undecorated, ready to go kind of when I am doing a junk journal, then I can decorate them to match my project. So let's see how we make these. Now I'm going to make one with the paper that I'm going to double side, and I'm going to make one with my thicker paper as well to just show you first off the difference, and also actually I might make one or two small ones just to kind of demonstrate those as well, just so you can kind of like see, you know, the varieties and the different types of things that you can do when you come to make yours. So let's start by doing one on thick paper. So this is thick paper, 230 GSM. It's double-sided, so you know it's pretty much ready to go. Now my printer has kind of been naughty and not quite gone to the edge, so I'm just going to trim my edge down like that. Now this is full height. It's a full sheet of A4, so I'm going to trim mine down so it's not quite so tall. And again, it's up to you really. I mean, I quite like it when I do have pockets full page height, but you might want to make a variety of these in different heights, you know, so you've got some and some. You know, again, just kind of play around and get the things, you know, or get things exactly how you would like them to look. So that's my paper. Now on the inside, it's also kind of bypassed my borderless setting. It doesn't really matter because that's going to be folded in, and you'll see that in a minute. But we might decide that it needs to come in a bit more on the edge anyway. Like I say, I don't measure these. I just kind of judge by eye. So I'm going to start by folding my sheet of paper down in the middle, squish it with my scissor handle, and then fold my paper over. Now at this point, what you're going to want to do is fold in a couple of little pockets on the inside of your opening out piece, like that. Okay, so like that. And then how I find it best to do is then, once you've got your first one as your guide, take your what's going to be the second pocket or the back pocket, and then you can kind of guide it or line it up against your first one, and that way, you know, your pockets will be in the same area. So like that, squish it in, you know, turn it around, squish it in like that, and that's it. That's all there is to these. Now obviously this is a little bit skew-iff where I cut it down, so I can now go in, just trim it across the top to make it, oh dear, I was going to say make it straight, but actually I've made it hideously wonky. Oh, that's not good. Right, so yeah, I mean, hopefully that looks a bit better. Obviously, if you have this weird thing going on in the middle, you can then kind of like trim it down slightly better. But, you know, don't get too bogged down with how it looks, because obviously once you've decorated it, you probably won't really notice. Now, obviously I'm using glue because, like I said, I try and keep these, you know, nice and accessible for everybody. So I'm just going to take my glue. We're not double-siding this paper or anything because it's nice and thick anyway. So all I'm going to do is run a bead of glue down here and a bead of glue down here, right into that, you know, where we creased, and then just squish that in. Now, if you were stitching this instead of gluing, you just take this to the sewing machine, and then this is optional. You could either stitch there, you know, like back or down and, you know, back kind of thing, and then the same on this side, or because you're stitching them when you have your piece closed, your stitching would be back to front, you know, on the reverse. You'd have the reverse of your stitching showing. So the alternative, just trying to speak there, the alternative would be open your piece out like that and put it down on your sewing machine and just stitch right the way down there, and that way you'd get a nice run of stitching going right the way across your piece. That's probably how I would do that. You could stitch right the way around your entire piece. My only kind of caveat with that is you are then going to be making your pockets smaller, because you'd obviously have, you know, a run of stitches here at the edge, which would be sort of effectively shrinking your pocket. It's up to you, you know, how you do them, but you know, you could either stitch it, open it out, stitch it right the way around the four sides, in which case you're just going to have a slightly, you know, narrower pockets here, or stitch there, stitch there, stitch there, stitch there, or one long stitch there and one down there. So that's just an alternative for if you are stitching these instead of gluing. Okay. And that is all there is to these. And then you've got a beautiful little fold out booklet, which aren't they just so scrumptious? And then of course, once you've got your booklet, it's up to you how you would use it. But for example, I mean, you could just paper clip it so it stays closed, or, oops, if I actually get to the end of my lace, you could obviously put a little, you know, tie up closure around it like that. So I mean, I think they're quite nice, you know, anyway. Really, I think they're nice whether they would be stitched or whether they would be sorry, not stitched, whether they would be paper clipped or whether they would be, you know, with a tie up closure. But they're cute, aren't they? So that's that one. Now I'm going to talk you through obviously a slightly smaller one. So this again is that thicker quality paper. Oh, sorry. I will try and remember to tell you always the papers I'm using. This was from my perfume collection, the Brights one. The inner paper was from my documents collection. The documents collection is brilliant for doing things like backing pieces, you know, because obviously it's nice and neutral. This is my tea collection, and this is from the light tea collection. So again, trimming it down where the, you know, printer did not print borderless. Okay, now just need to trim in this side as well. Now, this also has been backed with my documents collection on the inside. So as you can see, providing a nice, you know, neutrally kind of, you know, inside. So fold your piece over like that. Squish it down like that. And then you're going to take your pocket here, squish it in like that. Okay, that's your front, and then the back half, again, just sort of line it up with the front, and then obviously turn it back in on itself like that, and that's your little pocket. I mean, to be honest, this is probably quite, you know, quite skinny compared to how I, you know, would have probably liked it. I probably would have, yeah, if I'd have thought a bit better, I would have probably not had such a deep pocket in here. I would have done it a shallower pocket and more square, but you know, works the same. And obviously, you know, you could then cut it down sort of the height that you want it to be. Again, run your bead of glue along the edges here. Oh dear, like that. Okay, squish that down like that. Okie dokie, and then in here like that. Okay, and like that. Okay, and that's your little cute pocket booklet. And again, just to kind of demonstrate, obviously a paper clipped one, let's just paper clip this one closed. So let's just take my paper clip here. Oops. Like that. So I mean, they're really cute, aren't they? And to be honest, although that is a very sort of narrow one, just ideal for obviously if you've got a narrow pocket or something and you need something a bit slim to pop into the pocket. So, you know, they're quite nice, aren't they? Now I'm just going to show you now, sorry, I'm just going to show you now what we would do if you're wanting to use thinner paper and double-side it. So this is my Country Cottages collection, and papers, sorry, Country Cottages background papers. This is my roses collection. Now I think these go very beautifully together. They look gorgeous, don't they? But I want to obviously take this down a bit, probably in terms of size. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to fold it in whilst it's, you know, whilst it's together, and then I'm going to just trim it down to the sort of rough size that I'd like it to be. So just going to take some down in height like that. Okay, and then just take a little bit off of my sides like that. Hopefully I haven't taken too much off. I feel like I may have taken a bit much off, but never mind. You know, they're going to be quite forgiving. Not done a very good job of this edge, so just try and tidy it up a little bit. Okay. Oh, I think I've made it even worse actually. Oh, I have. Well, let's glue it together and then we'll work from there. So again, we're just going to glue this together. Now, if you were stitching this, you could probably just glue it around the edges. So I might just try, doing that here myself. So just gluing it around the edges. Ordinarily, I think I would probably have glued this all over, but I thought for these actually, I think we could probably just get away with just gluing them around the actual edges rather than the entire thing. So just mop up my excess glue, squish my glue out like that. Okay, and then this side again, exactly the same, like that, just down the edges. Okay, like that. Okay, now again, you're going to then fold your piece in. As you can see, yes, I have mucked up my cutting. It's very wonky on that edge, isn't it? So we'll have to straighten that up, but hopefully it might be a little bit easier now it's glued. So just go in. Oh, it's actually worse now it's glued. I thought it might have been easier because it was then holding together, but yeah, I've made a bit of a pig's ear of this, but oh, I know probably lots of you are watching thinking, why doesn't she just use a paper trimmer like a normal person? I just can't. Yeah, I find them very, very awkward to use. Right, okay, so take your pockets. So we've just fold our front pocket in like that. Okay, and then your other one, obviously, again, just use the front pocket as a guide like that. Okay, I'm just going to, yeah, take that in there. Like that. Now these are slightly more awkward if you are doing that double folding, i.e. folding back on itself and then folding back in. So the alternative thing would be put your pocket down and score it, you know, or just mark it somehow, even with your nail would be fine. And then that will give you where to actually fold your pocket, to save you doing that folding back and then folding back in. Only because they're going to then get like this, can you see there, that weird double thing going on? It just makes it slightly, you know, yeah, slightly difficult to work with. So, and again, that's probably just because I didn't actually glue these right the way around. I just glued them around the edges. So, you know, just play around. Again, if you were stitching these, you wouldn't have had to do the bit that we did, like stitching around like we did with the glue. What you could do is literally stitch the edges of your page, so this edge and this edge, and then fold it all into your booklet, and then again just stitch right away around the entire thing. So, you know, you can see how actually in some ways the stitching is actually quicker. But yeah, I mean, the reason why I like to glue them in the mass making, and I know I talk about this, you know, quite often, but I know not everybody's got a sewing machine. Not everybody wants to use their sewing machine with paper. And obviously this would be pretty dull to watch if I was just on my sewing machine, because you wouldn't really be able to hear me, you know, over the noise of the sewing machine. And yeah, it would be, you know, not a very sociable hour really that we sort of spend together. You know, and I think we like to keep it quite sociable in these mass making sessions. So that's that one. So, you know, different kind of feel for these two. This one obviously a bit more rigid. This one a little bit more vintage feeling, where it's kind of like squishy with the double layering of paper. So, you know, you might want to make some of each, you know, so that you've got alternatives to use in different journals. Yeah, so we're going to just relax now and, you know, enjoy ourselves having a mass making session, making a whole bunch of these, and yeah, just kind of relax and have a catch up. So like I say, before the video, I layered up a whole bunch of different papers that I'm going to, glue together. So I'm just going to do this more assembly line style. And by that, I'm meaning, you know, put things together in a sort of, yeah, like an organised way. So for example, here, I'm going to just stick the paper straight down. I'm going to do all the paper sticking, then all of the folding, and do it like that. So just trying to think, do I want to glue my papers or should I cut them? Right, okay, so yeah, what I'm going to do, so for the ones going forward, let me think, no, yeah, sorry, I was just trying to think now what I do want to do. I think, yeah, let's do this. So I'm going to fold the papers in, and then I will still do that gluing and cutting kind of in one hit. Now this one I thought would be quite nice to use this stamp catalogue paper and make one with the book page and the stamp catalogue paper, just so you can kind of see how they would look, you know, with some alternative papers. Not made a good job of the book page inside. Obviously this is tricky because this paper is not the same size, so again a little bit more tweaking needs to be done with that one. So, sorry, this is my Valentine's collection papers and this is my pink Parisian. So I thought they went quite nicely together. That's my Cambridge papers and they're both from the Cambridge papers. The inside green and this gorgeous pink colour. Then I have got, again, that's the Cambridge papers. Thought would look nice with that book page. So again, just going to fold that in here. Like that. Okey-dokey. And like I say, yeah, we'll probably then do all the trimming and then do all of the gluing. That's the Claridge's papers. Oops, have I got two of those? Oh, that's boring, isn't it? Let's not do two of the same thing. That's really boring. No one wants to see that, do they? Right, this is my Rose Park paper and I thought this would look very pretty with the sheet music. So yep, that sheet music's really big, so it's very hard to say whether I'm actually gluing that, folding that sort of together. Well, let's just hope for the best on that one. Very tricky when the paper is kind of the same size, or sorry, bigger. It makes it very hard to gauge. So this one, again, this is my Roses collection papers. So pretty, aren't they? And then on the inside I've got some of that lovely Harrods catalogue paper. I thought that was quite lovely. This here, this is my Claridge's paper, and on the inside is the collage page from the Bright Perfumes, I think this was. No, this might not be the Bright Perfumes. I'm so sorry, I can't quite remember whether this is the Bright or the not Bright. So again, let's just, fold that one in half. It's really good fun. I thought this bit, you know, choosing the papers often takes me quite a long time. So that's why I've picked them all first, so that then we can get straight on with making. This is my Shabby Chic collection and my Damask collection papers. This is my Documents paper, and this is my Lace collection, which again, I just thought would look gorgeous together, because isn't that just going to look stunning? So yeah, yeah, I thought that it often takes me a long time to sort of match the papers up. So I thought today I would put them with the paper I'm going to have like on the inside, so that I spare you all just that time wasting that goes on while I'm choosing papers. So that was my Belgian Blue, by the way, and the Documents collection. This is my Myrtle Cottage, and again on the inside is the Damask collection. And then the final one here I've got, this is from my, oh my goodness, what's the name? Oh, Gilded Blues. I think the Gilded Blues and the Documents collection on the inside there. So yeah, right. So I think what I'm going to do now is cut my papers down. So yeah, just going to get cutting them down, I think. So, and you know, we want to have kind of a variety of different sizes, I think, going on. So we'll just kind of just wing it a little bit, but you know, hopefully we'll get sort of some good good shapes and sizes. I mean, I might even leave 1 or 2 perhaps, you know, so they're full height page, like I'd said before. I mean, sometimes it's nice to have them the full, you know, the full height of your actual page. So, you know, they're really quite good to be able to mix them up and vary them. Oh dear, that one just was terrible. Very, very skew-iff, that one. Oh my goodness, look at that side. Oh no, again, where's that paper trimmer when you need it? Honestly, could you imagine like a video with a paper trimmer with me? It would be clonking about all over the desk. It would be huge. It would just be awful. So yeah, definitely not going to get one. Just in case you were thinking, oh, she's going to buy a paper trimmer. No, not going to. Because it would be awful. I would honestly, I'd be very clumsy with it. And yeah, it would not make for a very nice videoing experience. It definitely wouldn't make for a very nice viewing experience. It'd just be horrendous. So yeah. Anyway, let's stop waffling about whether or not we think a paper trimmer is a good idea. So I hope everybody's week has started out well. For anyone who watches my channel, you will know that I generally film these on a Monday to go up for you guys on the Tuesday. So my week's obviously only just started. So I am going out this morning. Well, I say this morning. Well, yeah, I guess this morning. So my lovely friend Gary, who died last year, sadly, it would have been his birthday today. So yeah, so his kind of best friend Steve, he is taking Gary's mum out. Gary would have been 58, so his mum is, you know, she's elderly. I can't remember, I think she's 86 or something, but I mean, she's amazing. She's, you know, very glamorous and, you know, very yeah, very kind of energetic, kind of 86-year-old and things. Anyway, so lovely Anita, her name is, we are taking her, well, Steve is taking her out for lunch and asked if I would like to go. I will just have a coffee. I won't be having lunch, but yeah, so that's what I'm doing. So meeting at 12 o'clock. So I've, yeah, got to keep that in mind and not get too waylaid, which is obviously easy to do, isn't it? So yeah, going to meet them for lunch at 12 o'clock. So yeah, that will be lovely. I do meet them from time to time, just, you know, for a coffee normally. But yeah, he's taken her for lunch because obviously it would have been Gary's birthday today. So, and you know, I mean, obviously it's a year of firsts, isn't it? It's going to be the first year ever she's had without Gary on his birthday. It will then be, you know, the first year where it's like, say, Mother's Day without Gary, and all of those kinds of firsts. I mean, obviously she had her first Christmas, you know, without Gary. And she does have another son, but he's not really close by. So, you know, she doesn't really see him half as much as she used to see Gary. So, yeah, it's, you know. So anyway, it would have been his birthday today. So, yeah, that's what we're going to do today. So, and our other friend from the gym, Sarah, she's also going to come along if she can. So she needs to kind of just see whether she can make it, but she's going to try her best. So that would be lovely too. And we're just kind of meeting in this lovely sort of cafe. It's in our local park, and yeah, they sell, I mean, I don't know what kind of food they sell there. I haven't really eaten in there, but I mean, I don't know whether they only do sandwiches or whether they do other things, but yeah, anyway, it's in a really nice park, so we're going to go and do that. I haven't seen her for a few weeks. So, I mean, I'd never met her, you know, previously, but Steve, obviously, you know, he knew her kind of quite well, sort of from before. And Gary also has like an old sort of school friend who also knows her quite well. So he kind of like looks after her quite a bit. So, I mean, not looks after her, because like I say, I mean, she's very independent and, you know, very capable and things still. But, you know, they keep her, you know, keep a sort of, not a check on her, that just sounds terrible, but you know what I mean. They look after her a little bit. And, yeah, she's a lovely lady. But, oh, she just looks so glamorous. She, yeah, she always has kind of like her lovely necklaces on and like coordinating with her, you know, her outfit perfectly. She always has her nails done. Like, yeah, very, very well put together she is. She looks gorgeous always. So, yeah. Yeah, just, you know, how time flies. It's kind of like shocking how long it is since Gary, you know, passed away. But yeah, anyway, right, okay, let's not go down that route. Let's cheer the conversation back up. So what else have I been doing? Well, just busy really. So yeah, I talked last week, was going to go and try and watch the Bob Marley film. Haven't had a chance yet, so unfortunately. But when I saw my friend Sarah at the gym this morning, she also loves going to the cinema, so she said that her and her husband went to see it at the weekend, and she said really enjoyed it. She thought it was really good. So yeah, hopefully my son and I are going to go and watch it maybe Wednesday. We often go on Wednesday. I mean, it is a 12, so we could go with my daughter. She sees her dad normally on a Wednesday. But I mean, I've said this before, she's not really a big cinema fan, if I'm truthful. So, you know, if I gave her the choice, she would say no, go when I'm not here. So yeah, she would not really probably choose to come with us, but it's a shame because we love going to the cinema, and I wish she did, but I think she doesn't really like having to sit still, and yeah, she's not really that interested in watching films or anything, so it's a shame. And I've said this before, I know, but you know, it's not because it's not a children's film, because she's no more interested in watching a children's film than she is watching anything else. She just doesn't want to, you know, she doesn't want to go to the cinema, full stop. So yeah, she doesn't really like watching films at home either, which is a big shame. Because like I say, you know, we really like watching films, but and the amount of times I say to her, oh, should we just cuddle up and watch a movie? No, that's what she says. No, don't want to. Oh, okay. You know, like, I just love it, you know. Oh, sorry, that's my doorbell. Hold on 2 seconds. Oh, sorry about that. That was just the postman. So yes, what was I saying? What was I saying? I can't remember. Oh, I don't know. Oh, yes, that's what I was saying. I was saying about the movies. And, you know, like, I love it when she comes home from school, you know, like if it's if it's one of those cold, dark, miserable afternoons, you know, I would love nothing better than to just go and cuddle up and watch a movie with her, like, you know, with a blanket, and, yeah, just have a really nice kind of girly time. No, she's not interested in doing that. I said, oh, come on then, you know, let's go and do that. No. So, yeah, which is such a shame. I mean, the boys used to love doing that. But, you know, the difference is the boys, you know, they loved films and things. And, you know, like I say, she's not really interested. So, fair enough, isn't it? You know, different people like different things, don't they? But, you know, I just kind of would like it from a selfish point of view, because I think, oh, it's really nice cuddling up, you know, and having a sort of nice, cosy time. But do you know what? I can't help but think, you know, it's possibly because she's a girl, and, you know, like, I mean, if I'm watching a movie, like, you know, in the evening, I'm always doing things, you know, like always doing something else as well. Like maybe I'm fussy cutting, or, you know, like, I don't know, folding up some paper, or, you know, doing something. And she's like that, you know, so I think, well, maybe it's a girl thing, because she's actually, you know, she's busy. She's doing other stuff. She got, you know, can't be sparing her time just sitting watching a movie. She wants to be doing other things. So I kind of think, you know, maybe it's that really. Whereas, I mean, other than being on their phones, you know, like my sons, if they're watching a movie, they're just watching the movie. Like I say, I mean, they do kind of like go on their phones, you know, through the movie. I'm not saying through the whole movie, but, you know, from time to time they'll be on their phone. But on the whole, they're watching the movie. So I kind of just think, you know, maybe it's a girl thing. She's way too busy to be just sat around watching a movie, you know, which is fair enough, isn't it? Because, you know, being a girl as well, I do get that. Okay. So, yeah, she had a sleepover on Friday night with Natalie's son. So they're almost the same age. They're like a year apart. So, yeah, she had a sleepover there. And then he had a sleepover at our house on the Saturday night. So, yeah, that was kind of quite nice for them. Quite fun. I mean, they just muck about, really. Most of their time is mucking about. So, well, most of their time is mucking about making mess, really. So, yeah. You know, often involves still playing with water. I mean, I'm wondering how much longer that phase is going to last, because, you know, they're getting a lot older now, and yet they still have to muck about endlessly with, like, you know, kind of mixing up stuff, making things, you know, messy things. I don't mean like useful things, you know, heaven forbid that they would be making useful things like journals like what we make. No, they don't do any of that. They just still kind of, yeah, still just make a lot of mess, which I just find that really strange. Just think, oh, how much longer are you going to do these things for? I mean, come on. But still, you know, they're those types like, so a few months ago they had a sleepover. Oh, I nearly did the glue all over. They'd had a sleepover at Natalie's house, and they were doing the same again. So they were going to sleep over at mine the next day. So Natalie said, oh, they were absolutely brilliant. She said, you know, in fact, they cleaned all of my downstairs, you know. So I said, fantastic. She said, oh, they loved it. You know, they had a brilliant time. So it's fantastic. I mean, I don't need telling twice, because, my goodness, my house is a mess. So, yeah, I thought, brilliant. So I said to them, oh, you know, Natalie said that you loved it. You had a great time cleaning. Yeah, we did. We really liked it, you know. So I said, great. Do you want to, you know, do you want to clean our house? Yeah, couldn't wait. Well, they obviously, the reason why they loved it so much was because they used like the entire, like, you know, probably like 3, not containers, but, you know, the bottles of like the cleaning product and all of that. You know, they couldn't have been more extravagant with everything they used. So I think it was less about the cleaning, more about the mucking about with, you know, constantly keep spraying the stuff and, you know, all of that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I mean, how much they actually cleaned, I wouldn't like to really say, but needless to say, I had to then go around doing a few things myself afterwards. So, but, you know, I mean, it kept them quiet, I suppose, but yeah, I'm not really convinced about their cleaning abilities, it's got to be said. Okay, so it was half term last week, so this week the schools are obviously, you know, back to school. Yeah, and then I guess the next holiday will be Easter. It's just going so quickly, isn't it? Oh, I just want to say a massive thank you to everybody who watched my Valentine's series last week, the, you know, Crafty Love series that I did for Valentine's week. So thank you so much, and thank you so much to everybody who left a comment and things to any of the videos. You know, really thrilled that, you know, the series was well received and that you enjoyed watching and, you know, maybe got some inspiration and things. So yeah, thank you so much. I do love doing you know, doing the series, and obviously, you know, I really miss you guys now that my filming schedule is obviously not what it was, and obviously, you know, it's not many weeks since I did the series between Christmas and New Year. So going forward, going to try my best to you know, to film some more series. I never know how to say that in like plural, you know, but yeah, I'm going to try anyway to do some more series this year, because, you know, it's a nice way to kind of like be able to hang out with you guys more. But not having to be like, you know, like filming every single day, which was obviously, you know, causing way too much pressure. So yeah, I shall see, but that's the plan. I'd really like to do sort of some more series because, you know, I love hanging out with you guys. So yeah, sometimes it's just coming up with ideas for, you know, for doing a series that would be worthwhile and, you know, interesting to watch. Sort of, you know, there's no point doing anything that's just going to be rubbish. So, you know, so sometimes it's, yeah, kind of just coming up with something that would be worthwhile. Now, I said this a really long time ago, but I've been putting together like some little kits to make a journal with. Now, I've got a confession to make. I started them last summer. I filmed the first video showing what you got in the kit. Then life took over, and now the kits are all kind of like just spread about, dotted around. I mean, they're all together, like in envelopes, you know, per kit. So, I mean, they're not getting lost or anything. But the video that I filmed showing obviously what you got in the kit, my kit is now spread all over my desk. No longer accessible or findable or anything like that. So I need to really watch that first video and then pick that back up. And then I can obviously do that series. And obviously, like I say, there will be kits to go with that so that we can be doing the same, you know, the same sort of thing. A bit like when I did the build your own folio, you know, kit and series, it will be that sort of format. So yeah, I will try and crack on with that quite soon, because you know, if I don't find it all soon, I'll just never ever be able to find, you know, the bits from my own kit that's now, like I say, spread all over the desk. So yeah, definitely I need to resurrect that one. So that will be one series that will be coming, but I mean, obviously that will be quite a lot of work, you know, because I need to obviously locate all of my parts of my kit now. But yeah, hopefully we'll have good fun doing that. So there we go. Oh my goodness, it was such mild weather at the weekend. Well, it was weird. Yesterday, it had started out absolutely horrible. So really, really raining, really black, just really a horrible, horrible day. And then it just total U-turn, cheered up beyond belief, and was absolutely lovely. So by the afternoon, in fact, we went out just literally like to the, you know, to the shop. And yeah, we just went to the shop and we grabbed a Costa while we were on our way to the shop. And I didn't even wear a coat. I mean, you know, the kids didn't wear coats either, but that's no big shock there because they quite often don't go out in coats. But for me not to wear a coat, that's like, whoa, it must be like spring. I mean, you know, I think is today the 20th of February? I think today's the 20th. So, I mean, obviously, you know, for you guys, when this goes up, it'll be the 21st. So, yeah, I mean, definitely it's not spring. But yeah, it definitely felt like spring, which was just lovely, absolutely lovely. So yeah, it's just like been such a peculiar winter, you know, just, I mean, touch wood, you know, we've hardly had any cold weather really, just a handful of cold days sort of here and there, not even like in a full run, but just, you know, maybe like four cold days, then, you know, back to just rain, you know, sort of warmed up and just a lot of rain. Then, you know, a couple of weeks later, maybe one cold day. You know, it's been very, very strange weather. But yeah, I mean, I'm not complaining. I don't like the cold weather very much, but yeah, it's been really weird. And so then yesterday I thought, well, surely this isn't now spring coming already, because it doesn't really feel like we've, you know, had much of a winter. I mean, even though we've had a lot of rain, you know, we don't really feel like we've had much in the way of cold weather. Not that I'm complaining, like I say, because, you know, hey, who wants the cold weather? you know, definitely not me. So I'm all for, you know, bring on spring now. That's fine by me. But just really weird. Really weird. Okay. Right, now, obviously, because I broke to go and see who was at the door, I've got no clue now how long I've been filming for. I should have actually looked and checked, but I didn't. So I might stop here and do the next stage. I've just got 3 more left for the, you know, the gluing. So yeah, but perhaps we'll just do these ones now. So obviously what we need to now do is fold these in to form our, you know, our inner pockets, if you see what I mean. So just then need to look and see what way up they need to go. Obviously, you know, if you've got like a directional paper on the inside, something that you might like to just be aware of, obviously, is when you're gluing your inner and your outer, if both are directional, then you need to obviously make sure that both are in the directional direction on the inside and the outside, if that makes sense. So yeah, hopefully I'll be okay, but who knows, might not be. Right. Okay, now might have to trim some of these bits up as we go. So here, what I'm talking about is, instead of doing that double folding like we did before, I'm going to just score this down here. Just scoring it with my card. Can I see that? No, it's not been scored enough. Well, I'm just going to fold it like this. Okay, and then just squish that down against there. There you go. Like that. There we go. So lovely pocket. So again, I'm going to do all of my folding and then all of my gluing. That way, if I don't end up gluing them all, then I have got the option to take them to the sewing machine and I could just finish them off on the sewing machine like we talked about, because the sewing machine does, you know, does look really good with these. So we'll just fold some down. Might even stop the camera and just see how long I've been filming for. And then I'll know, won't I, whether I need to stop and, you know. Okie dokie. So yeah, I'll probably even just score a little bit with the scissors like that. Okay. Like that. There you go. Well, that worked out quite well. Again, squish them down. Yes, they've got like a lovely kind of squishy feel to them, you know, which is, yeah, really, really nice, I think. So, okay. My mum and dad started watching a series called Too Good to Be True, I think it's called, on Channel 5. They've recommended that to me and said it's really good. I've tried to watch it for the last 2 nights, but you know, when you've kind of got quite a bit of stuff going on, you can't quite get into something. So I watched it a little bit on Saturday night and then I obviously fell asleep through it. So then last night I thought, oh, I'm going to watch that. So I started rewatching it and then lo and behold, fell asleep again. So I don't think it's a reflection of the programme. I think it's just genuinely me, but it's annoying because now I've watched it twice and I'm still not quite, you know, not quite into it. I'm going to have to actually watch it a 3rd time, would you believe? So pretty rubbish. But yeah, it's on Channel 5. So, you know, share in the chat below. Have you watched it? Have you heard of it? What's it like? Is it good? Would you recommend it? they said it was good. So yeah, and I love that we can all share what we're watching and, you know, find good things to watch. Oops, hold on 2 seconds, my phone now. Oh, so sorry about that. That was my dad. So I literally carried on folding them whilst I was quickly on the phone to my dad. So I'm just going to now glue a couple just so that we've got some, you know, some kind of actually done here. So we'll just go down those. I did then check how long I'd been filming for, and it was around about the 45-minute mark, which is normally around about the time that we kind of stop to decorate, you know, 1 or 2 up. So we'll just quickly glue a couple down, and then we'll just decorate 1 or 2 of these. So there we go. Doesn't that look so pretty? That Valentine's paper with the pink Parisian inside, it's gorgeous, isn't it? So those Valentine's papers, weirdly enough, I mean, I kind of felt like skeptical, you know, how much I would kind of get to use them, or how much use I would get from them, but actually they've turned out to be pretty versatile papers, and, you know, something that I can see myself just using time and time again. So, and a massive thank you to anyone who did buy those Valentine's collection papers, and hopefully you are finding the same thing. I know that 1 or 2 people have messaged and said, you know, or left comments saying, you know, that they love them and they can just see, you know, multiple uses for them. Because I think they really are, you know, they're going to be one of those, you know, not just for Valentine's Day, but actually pretty versatile papers. So, yeah. Right, there we go. So I'm just going to glue just those 2 down like that. Okay. Right, let's move these out the way. Oh, I didn't glue this one. Fold this one. But anyway, I can do that one later. So let's just decorate one of these up. So let's just see. So out of the only 4 that I've got ready, kind of completed. Now, I have got a little snippet roll, or, you know, piece of a snippet roll. I haven't kind of completed it yet, but that I started making. Let's just take that end. So that was just laying around on the desk, so I thought perhaps we'll just be able to use that on here. So yeah, let's just check. Hold on. Oh, actually, I might have to use this one because they're narrower than I thought. Oh, that one's rather lovely, actually. Ooh. Oh, that one's lovely. Or the boot. Oh, I don't know now. That one's lovely on there too. Oh, I don't know. They're all looking a bit lovely, aren't they? Right, let's do this one. So I probably need to trim this down again. It's not very straight. Not making a good job of getting this very straight. Oh my goodness, very wonky from the back now. Oh well. Right, okay. Just going to leave that before I tamper around further, because actually every time I cut it I seem to be making it actually worse and worse. Now what did I do with my corner rounder? Felt like it was sat here, but oh, there it is. Right, so like I say, the corner rounding optional. Oops. But you know, you might want to just round the corners for a different look, or, you know, like this one, maybe we would just round those edge corners there, but not on this side, because I think that's quite nice. So yeah, just play around and kind of do maybe, you know, some and some, if you see what I mean. So yeah, that's rather lovely, isn't it? Right, let's ink this up. Okay. Like that. Okay. And just ink it in the inside as well. Isn't that gorgeous? That's that one with that Country Cottages paper on the inside as well. Don't they look absolutely gorgeous together? Very, very yummy, isn't it? So yeah, and this is one of my perfume. It's actually one of the perfume background papers, and I just cut a little section from it, and then those as well, and then one of my labels. But that just looks really pretty on there, doesn't it? So yeah, I think we'll do that. Now I have got some lace here. Oh, have I got anything quite the right colour? Not up there, I don't think. Oh, have I? No. Got some other lace. This one. Let's just take a little section of this. Again, just going to sort of tear a little bit off. I mean, that's really pretty, isn't it? Let me just see whether I want any lace going down the edge of here. Or we might just be having like a lace overload. Problem is, I just think you can never have enough lace, to be honest. So, right, let me just cut this down and just cut that curly edge off. And we can sort of decide. So, oops. Oh, come on. Oh gosh, sorry. Okay. Yeah, we could have it on that edge or on that edge. I think I'd prefer it on the spine edge, actually. Yeah, something like that. Looks pretty, doesn't it? So yeah, let's just quickly pop that one down. Okay. Oh, the house is getting a bit chilly now. The heating's obviously, you know, gone off a little while ago, and it's now sinking in, you know, settling in. Sort of the cold is now getting in, so yeah, getting a bit chilly. It does go quick, doesn't it? You know, the heat. As soon as the heating goes off, it does not take very long for the house to then, you know, get pretty cold, I think. Right, now I've still got some of my fairy tale words here, just from our Valentine's series that we did last week. So just see whether we might have any of these. Should we just take this for a minute? Let's see. Oh, I suddenly feel really chilly actually now. So much for what I was saying. Oh, it's positively spring-like. Yep, it's now suddenly not spring-like, but actually quite chilly. I mean, it's not chilly, it is very mild, but I just really feel the cold, I think, so. And unfortunately, you know, it is just one of those kind of houses that, you know, when the heating goes off, the cold sinks in pretty quickly. Oh my goodness, doesn't that look lovely? Very fairy tale-ish. So yeah, and then I've also got some of my butterflies, and just bring those in now. Got a bluey green one, which could be lovely, or we've got a variety of blue ones. So yeah, let's just see which one's going to be the best shade for this. Oh, the bluey green is looking quite lovely, isn't it? Oh, I don't know now, actually. Let's just cut out a few. Okay. Bo's just asleep under my throw on the bed, where she just likes to spend her day. Yeah, she loves nothing better than just laying under there all day, honestly. Right. So that's the blue one. Let's just try this bluey green. I mean, I feel like this actually is going to go better, but it might just blend in a bit too much. You know, maybe we need the blue as a sort of bit more of a contrast. I'm not sure. Don't want it just looking really, really bland, you know, not kind of standing out at all. Oh, maybe the green one. Right, so that being the case, I'm going to glue this down just with the hot glue. Only because it's a bit lumpy and bumpy, so, you know, I want to make sure that obviously the whole thing's glued down. Like that. Okay. Oops, like that. And then the butterfly. Okey-dokey. Put that down there or up here. Oh, it looks pretty in either place, actually. Let's just pop this down. Again, really overkill doing this with the hot glue, but I'm just doing it with the hot glue because it's going over the lace and things. So, you know, rather than having to keep pressing it down, I think maybe the butterfly up there as well. And then, I mean, I know I did say about the paper clips or the, you know, tying something around the middle. They're not flapping open, you know, and I say things like this quite often, but, you know, to be honest, it's unusual for things to be like really flapping open. You don't often even need to have any kind of closure, but sometimes it's more for like a decorative detail rather than, you know, functionality. So on this one, for example, oops, let's get some of this pink sari silk. Oops. You know, like I say, it's hardly, you know, flapping open or flopping open. It's not really kind of needing a closure as such, but, you know, for an extra pretty decorative detail, I'm thinking maybe just tie some sari silk around like that. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, how gorgeous does that look? It's like yummy, isn't it? I mean, that to me just looks like a fairy tale. It's like so pretty. Now, do I have any kind of junk journal that I can just show you how it would look on a page? Oh yeah, I have. Hang on. I've got this one that I need to finish the cover on, but this one here. So if I just show you, find a page that's bare enough. That's how it would be on a page. You'd glue it obviously around perhaps 3 sides. I'd glue this down if I was leaving that on there, and then you'd have a side load in pocket as well, and obviously when you open it up you've got the 2 pockets inside. So, you know, but alternatively this obviously would be a brilliant, you know, tuck in for a pocket. I mean, maybe not this pocket because it's a bit of a tight squeeze, but yeah, I mean, if you had you know, some pockets that were a bit sort of wider, maybe this one, oh, I don't know, yeah, maybe here. So you could just tuck it in, tuck it into a pocket like that, and then that would be fine. So, you know, you could have them as a glue-in piece or a tuck-in piece, like I say, either would be fine. And yeah, really, really, really nice, aren't they? So yeah, I hope you feel inspired to make some. I feel pretty pathetic that we did not get to make more, but obviously we did do a lot of bases. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 complete, 5 including this one obviously being all decorated up and everything. And then I've got the bases ready, so I'm going to either take these to the sewing machine, like I say, or glue them together. So, you know, they only need kind of finishing off now. So we have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we've got 8, 9, 10, 11. So yeah, we did quite well, to be honest. Like I say, these do need a bit of finishing off, but then they'll be, you know, they'll be pretty cool. So yeah, I hope you like them. Hope you feel inspired to make some. And yeah, thank you so much. I'd really appreciate it if you could give this video a thumbs up. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks so much then. Bye.